Empathy. Empathy is a word that is increasingly finding its way into our businesses and organizations, and it's time to think about the role that empathy plays in all of us. But now, thankfully, we are beginning to better articulate and understand the connection that empathy has on our leadership, on our collaborations, and our ability to serve those we are aiming to serve. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about organizational empathy and the role empathy plays in our development as leaders, as humans, as collaborators, and certainly as cultures. Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced the best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back, breathe in good oxygen, and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hey everybody, it's Jason, and welcome back to the Thermostat Podcast. Wherever you are and however you are coming to the podcast today, welcome back. So glad you are here. We are in Season 7, over 160 plus episodes, and continue to keep cranking. So thanks to everybody who's been with us from the very beginning. And those of you that are new to the podcast, welcome. So glad you're here. Hope you'll go back and check out some great interviews and micro pods about all kinds of different topics that I think will add value to your journey. So glad you're here. My commitment to you, as always, this is a place for you, wherever you're listening to it, however you're coming to it, that this will be a place for you to step back, to think about your own life, to think about your own, how you're showing up as a leader in your personal life, in your family, in your, and then certainly the work and the team and the culture that you're trying to create in your organization. So glad you're here. Before we dive into today's topic, if you'll do me the quick favor and rate the podcast 5 stars, obviously, subscribe if you haven't done so already. But whatever platform you're listening to, if you'll hit the 5 stars rating, if you will leave a authentic review, your own words about why you think this has any redeeming value in the world today, in a very noisy world. Why is this a positive thing that should be shared? And those are the ways in which the algorithms work and help us spread the messages further and amplify them out into the world. So thanks to anybody that takes the time to do that, and/or anybody that shares the podcast with your team at work, your colleagues, peers, family, friends, whoever that may be, and said, hey, this is a topic that you ought to be aware of and a part of the dialogue. So thanks to everybody that does that. Again, thank you. That's what helps these messages reach further, and that's what we're hoping to do. So thank you. Empathy. Empathy is a word that is increasingly finding its way into our businesses and organizations. It hasn't always been that way. That word is not a word that has always shown up in leadership and or culture and business settings in the traditional sense. It's not a word that you heard a lot of businesses talking about. But now, thankfully, we are beginning to better articulate and understand the connection that empathy has on our leadership, on our collaborations, and our ability to serve those we are aiming to serve. It is a part of the culture that we create with the people around us. And it's time to think about the role that empathy plays in all of us, raising our standards on leadership and the cultures that we are a part of. So, on today's podcast, we're going to be talking about organizational empathy and the role empathy plays in our development as leaders, as humans, as collaborators, and certainly as cultures. But before we dive into today's topic, let's pause, take a quick break, and we'll be right back. If you haven't done so already, we hope you'll visit Amazon or Amplify or jasonvbarger.com to check out Breathing Oxygen, my new book that is all about breathing good oxygen into ourselves and mindsets that fuel ourselves and the teams and the organizations around us. Positive, healthy thinking is as essential to great leadership and building a winning culture as the air we breathe. Leading yourself and a team of people has never been more complicated than it is today. As a leader, every move you make is either breathing life into your organization or slowly killing it. The atmosphere can easily turn toxic with negativity, blame, and doubt poisoning the culture. Just like every being on the planet needs good air to breathe, every organization needs leadership that breathes life into its people to sustain the energy required to complete its mission. Breathing Oxygen focuses on 6 key leadership mindsets that breathe life into any team: clarity, inclusivity, mental agility, grit, rest, and ownership. Join us, read, and share Breathing Oxygen.
Available now from Amplify Books on Amazon and jasonvbarger.com.
All right, welcome back. My friend and somebody that I've been lucky to cross paths with a couple of times, and fellow author and speaker Jon Acuff, talks about organizational empathy in a way that I think is unique. And so I've loved this language that he's brought to it. He talks about being organizational empathy being defined by, quote unquote, caring about what the people you care about care about. I love that. Caring about what the people you care about care about. I love that language. And there are many layers, of course, to that phrase, so that we're going to break down here quickly on this micropod. But a great way for us as leaders to think about on our own journey of, are we truly showing this kind of empathy to the people around us? And does our organization, does our team, does our collective group of humans, do we practice this kind of organizational empathy with the people around it? So let's peel back some of those layers of this language. And if organizational empathy is caring about what the people you care about, then we need to ask ourselves some questions. And some of the questions, at least that it makes me think about, is, who do we actually care about? If caring about what the people you care about is a definition of organizational empathy, then the first thing we have to think about is, who is it that we actually care about? Is it just your clients? Is it just yourself? Certainly in many business or organizational contexts, I think traditionally people have been out, and would say that, hey, I'm out to get mine. I'm out to be successful on my own terms, and hopefully I'm recognized and move my way up the quote unquote ladder. Is it so who do we actually care about? Is it your clients? Is it just yourself? Is it your own advancement? Is it your teammates? Is it your communities that you serve? Is it something else? Sometimes the first most important question we as leaders, or we as a team or as an entire organization can ask is, who are we actually and truly going to care about? Who is it that's going to be the target of who we're going to choose to care about, and not just talk about it, but who are we truly going to care about? Who are we going to actually care about? The next question is, what do they, whoever these people are that we're going to actually choose to care about, what do they care about? What do they care about? If we truly care, then we'll have to take the time to listen, to ask, to seek out what they actually care about. What's important to them? What do they want? What do they need? What lights them up? Certainly, I think about this in terms of just not only the teams and organizations that I serve, the clients and customers, what it is what do they care about? What's important to them? But I also think about this in my personal life, from my kids. What is it that they need at this age-appropriate developmental phase? What lights them up? What's important to them? To think about it for my wife, to think about it for my friends, to think about it for the people around me. What is it what's important to them? What is it that they want, which requires me to do a bit of listening, to ask questions, to seek out what truly they care about, what's important to them. We can't just care about what we think they should care about, but take the time to actually learn what they do actually care about. So once I know who we actually care about and can identify the targets of who is it that we're going to actually care about, and then be able to take the time and the process and be committed to finding out and seeking out what they actually care about, then the question becomes, will we and will I get in the business of truly caring about what the people we care about care about? So will I or will we get in the business of truly caring? Are we interested in a transactional relationship or a transformational relationship? Once we know who we're going to care about and listen, ask, seek what is truly important to them that they care about, then we have to ask ourselves whether we are willing to get into the business of caring about those things. If our teammates care about personal development, are we going to dive into the business of helping them develop? If our customers care about an authentic and frictionless service experience, then are we going to be relentless about getting in the business of relating to them and removing obstacles for them? Even those who are different than us, that think about things differently, that have a different life experience than us, or on our teams that maybe aren't the easiest to always care for, are we going to get in the business of truly caring about what the people we care about care about? And so those questions throughout our organizations and throughout the teams and the business or the organization that you serve, those are important questions if we want to really consider and raise the bar on our own organizational empathy. Are we going to care about the people that we care about and find out what they care about and get in the business of caring about what they care about? That's a mouthful. That's a lot right there. But are we going to do that? And again, what it makes me think about for my own personal life, outside of the partnerships and the organizations that I'm lucky to partner with and serve in the leadership development and culture shaping and clarity of mission, vision, and values, obviously with those relationships, I have to then care about them. It's not just a job to me. It's not just a partnership or a paycheck. I truly want to care about them. And then I also want to find out and seek my best partnerships with teams and organizations and leadership teams is when I understand what it is that they truly care about and then can get in the business of caring about what they care about. And the same way is true. What it makes me think about is for my kids, what is it that they care about? And am I going to truly get in the business of caring about it? What does my wife truly care about? And am I going to get in the business of caring about that? My friends, my community, the people around me. What does it mean to care about what the people you care about care about? So as always, a few questions to ponder this week along your journey. Who do you and your teammates or organization truly care about? Who is it? If you had to think of who is it that you and your teammates or your organization truly care about? What do your people, the people that you are targeting or that you're trying to serve or that you do care about, what do your people actually care about? As you seek and you listen, what is it that they care about? And in what ways could you get into the business of caring about what they care about? I hope today's episode got you thinking in some new ways. If a deeper dive into any of these topics is interesting to you, of course, please reach out to us at info@jasonvbarger.com and let us know. We're going to continue to design content to help meet you where you are on your journey. Lastly, I hope you go back and listen to a number of these past episodes and share them, and I hope they add value and contribute to you along your path. Cheers to the path ahead of us in the year ahead, and remember that the future of leadership is you, is me, is us. We need to get clear on the temperature we hope to set, and then be courageous and committed to breathing oxygen into the mindsets and actions that will sustain our path forward. Step back. Remember, be a thermostat. Breathe good oxygen. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using, and share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to you and your organization, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we are all ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.